I just spoke to the guy down there. He can't explain his own religion. He can't explain his own religion. Christians can't, because they can't, because the Bible's been fucked with so many times. They don't even know what they believe. I just completely proved to him Jesus is not God, and he denied it. Why? Because people, unfortunately, even that's the way the world works, people. The truth, whenever you tell somebody the truth, they're going to deny it, because Satan has already put in everybody's ears the truth, and he has told them that as lies. So when you hear the truth, you think it's a lie. Just like when I just told that guy, I said, you believe that Jesus is God, don't you? He said, yes. I said, oh, did you read his last sermon on the Mount when he stood there in front of all of his congregation and he said, no man has seen God or heard God at any time? Jesus said that. And they were looking at him, seeing him, and hearing him. So how can they claim that he's God? He in the Bible, in red letters, claims not to be. It's just, people will, whenever they hear the truth, that's why this government has so many people brainwashed. Everybody's so brainwashed. You send your kid to school, next thing you know, your kid's coming home and he wants to change his gender. Like, this is the type of shit that I never would have had to deal with in my time, and that shouldn't be okay today, okay? People like that need to go to places and start to be okay with who they are. If you hate yourself so much that you even got to change your gender, then you need fucking help. You need help. Because guess what? You don't get to choose that. And if you think that you know better than God, then you better stop thinking that, because you're going to pay for it when you die. This is probably the biggest Sodom and Gomorrah story that's going on in 2022. Is the transgender movement. And even in the Bible, what did God send the angels to do to Sodom and Gomorrah? The people who were dressing like women who were men, who were having sex with the same gender, what did he do? You know, the angel Gabriel wiped them out with the tip of his wing. With the tip of his wing, he went, and Sodom and Gomorrah was no more. Because they were doing something that is immoral. It is perfectly fine and not against anybody's religion if you are gay. Meaning that you can be a Christian, be a Muslim, and be gay. You just cannot have sex with a man, act gay in public, and they urge you to stay celibate the rest of your life. But they don't disown you. You know what I mean? It's okay to feel that, but it's one thing to feel it, another thing to act on it. People don't realize that. Allah realizes that. So, you know, Islam is not against being gay people. It's against them doing the acting upon an urge which they know is immoral, which God has told them is immoral by Sodom and Gomorrah. So come on, people, this is in the Old Testament. You should have read this the second day at Sunday school. The problem is people don't read the Bible anymore, man. They don't read the Bible, and when they do read the Bible, they completely misinterpret everything in it. Because, you know, if you start reading a book and you already have in your mind how the book is going to end, right? That's how the Bible is, right? So everybody sees Jesus in the Old Testament because they know of Jesus that he's coming in the New Testament. That's the only reason why. If you had no idea that was coming, then you wouldn't think that thing. You'd get a completely different message than what you get. It's Syracuse, New York. This is not that exciting. But that's exactly why people see Jesus in the Old Testament. Because when it's the preconceived notion, because if you read a book and you already know how the book is going to end, then you're already looking to connect the end of the book to the beginning of the book. And that's what Christians have done with the belief in Jesus. Because Jesus is now mentioned in the Old Testament, by the way. And anybody who says that Jesus is God and who appeared to Moses, that is completely wrong. Completely wrong. Okay? And even the early Christians believed that. Even the early Christians did not believe in Jesus as God. The early Christians still went to the temple and prayed. The early Christians still kept the commandments. The early Christians did not break commandments. They did not. They still went to the temple to pray. They didn't make their own place to go. Jesus didn't tell them to leave the temple. He didn't tell them to go make a new religion. He told them to follow the same religion, the exact same religion, which had been since the beginning of mankind before Adam. Not make a new religion. Jesus himself went to the synagogue and prayed. He went to the synagogue and prayed. He never told anybody not to go to the synagogue. He never told anybody to go make your own church, your own church. He never said that. Even the early Christians, after he left, after he was ascended into heaven by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, because we don't believe in the crucifixion, and it's quite obvious. I was having a conversation with the guy, and I brought up the crucifixion and told him I didn't believe in it, and he asked me why, and I said, well, it's simple, because the Quran is God's little word, and God said that he wasn't, so I can't go against that. You know, if God specifically tells you something, okay, then you can't go against that, you know. I mean, that's just it, is that the Quran, unlike the Bible, has not been changed 1400 years. Not a letter. Not a letter, not a letter, not a letter. And also, the Bible is so poorly put together, right? Like with the Quran they have a chain of narration. A chain of narration is the whip of the believer. Because you can tell people that this is authentic by saying this authentic person said it and heard it from this authentic person who heard it from this Sahaba, who heard it from this Sahaba, who heard it from the Prophet. Then it's authentic. Because it came from the Prophet, it was recited a certain way, and then the next person recited it the same way, so to the third person they recited it the same way. This is how the Quran became the Quran. And God does not alter any of his word. So that proves right there. And people have tried to alter the Quran. I know there was a Catholic that he infiltrated the Muslim ulama to make fatwas. He wanted to see if he could change one letter, just one letter in the Quran, and have them not notice. Because he wanted to prove to people that the Quran was not the word of God. Do you know what happened? This is a true story, by the way. This guy, right, went to one of the biggest Muslim countries on earth as a Muslim, infiltrated the ulama who make rulings, and by the way, the ulama, okay, do not accept ISIS and all those fucking terrorist organizations as being Muslims. They're called Khawarij because they kill innocent people. And if you read the Quran, if you know anything about Islam, you can't kill innocent people. You can't even kill people. You can't even defend yourself. Did Ali defend himself? No. He could have. Ali was a fierce fighter. Ali radiallahu anhu alayhi salam, Ali bin Abi Talib, the he's the grandson, I think he's the grandson of the Prophet. He died during prayer. A man obviously was in the ranks of the Salah, and he watched Imam Ali radiallahu anhu. Some people call him I think the Shia call him Amir al-Mu'mineen. I have no problem with that. I don't pick sections in my Islam. I am for Muhammad and his teachings, and I follow Muhammad and his teachings, and it doesn't matter to me whether someone who considers themselves a Shia teaches me the truth, or whether someone who considers themselves a Sunni teaches me the truth. One way or another, I'm getting a true message, you know. And the true message is so simple for people. Very simple. You want me to put this up? I'll make sure you guys, I'm going to do this for you guys, since we have such a bad pandemic, to make sure you guys don't get COVID through the screen. I'm going to put a mask on, okay? Put a mask, you know what I mean? Yeah. Just to be safe. Hey, you never know, it could happen. You never know what's gonna happen to you. There. You know, I figured the pandemic was so bad, I'd do you guys a favor and make sure you don't get COVID through the screen here. And put a mask on. No, I'm just fucking with you. Boom! It's Ghost. But, yeah, man. So let's continue our discussion on why people are misled from the truth. Listen, okay? The government is listening to us, okay? I said fuck Biden, and I made a whole video about it. They played it in the fucking Senate. They are playing social media influencers' words in the fucking Senate. How do I know that? Somebody told me. Somebody told me. I'm not gonna throw him under the bus. But it's not just me, man. It's not just me. You see, pedophile Biden, I can't even call him a president, our dick sucker, yeah, running our country. And excuse my language too, like, look, like, yeah, I preach about Islam, okay, I preach about things that I know about, alright, that doesn't make me a perfect Muslim. I am not a perfect Muslim. Do not follow what I do, follow what I say. I know Islam. I know what's right and wrong. I, however, have lived in the West my entire life. And in the West, got into a lot of bad things. Got addicted to drugs, haram things prohibited in Islam. And those things, unfortunately, are very difficult to combat because Islam expects you to do certain things and handle yourself a certain way. And so I'm working on every day becoming a better person and trying not to be such a screaming, raging guy who's yelling at the entire Catholic congregation, calling them idol worshippers. So I'm not perfect, man. You don't have to be perfect. You're sinless. All you gotta do is ask for forgiveness, man. That's the most hilarious thing that I believe about Christianity right there. Is that, well, I can't just ask God for forgiveness and He can't give it to me. Why can't He give it to me? If you want to know a God that will forgive you no matter what, then on the spot you don't have to do nothing. Islam is your deen. Because that's how true God is. God is a lover to forgive. He loves to forgive us. It is He likes forgiving us so much that He even forgives things that normally He should not be forgiving, because He is the most forgiving. I forget how they say that in the Quran, but it does say that Allah is the most giving and the most forgiving. You don't need Jesus' sacrifice, and Jesus didn't go to... I asked a Christian this today. I said, do you think Jesus died for your sins? He said, oh yes, He died for yours too. I said, do you believe Jesus is in hell? He said, no, He's in heaven. I said, how can He be in heaven if He's paying for your sins? He had nothing to say, because we don't believe that. Why? Because God in the Old Testament tells us that. Come on, this is old stuff, man. God told Moses anything is crucified is cursed. Would God put His own mighty messenger, would He do that to His most mightiest messenger? No. Hell no. Why? Because He knows that if Jesus goes to the cross, the people that He was sent to save will never believe in Him. That's why Pontius Pilate didn't care. He didn't want Jesus because he didn't care. And if you read the Bible, that day was a holy day. They let one of them go. And there were two people named Jesus there. They said Jesus of Nazareth and Jesus Barabbas. Look up what the word Barabbas means in Hebrew. Because the word Barabbas means in Hebrew, son of the Father. So what Pontius Pilate was asking them was, do you want me to let Jesus Christ go, or do you want me to let Jesus Christ go? And He let him go. He walked him out the back door. Because actually, the parchment has it wrong. Jesus didn't walk out to the Garden of Gethsemane before the crucifixion started. He walked out to the Garden of Gethsemane after Pontius Pilate walked him out the back door and allowed the real criminal to get crucified. That's when he went to the Garden of Gethsemane and he prostrated on his face, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to raise him up alive into the heavens. And we believe, just like the Christians, that He will come back. But unlike the Christians, we don't believe in crucifixion, because we believe that God does not change His mind. if you ever have a prophet that comes down and teaches anything other in fundamental values than what any other prophet told, they're not a prophet. Now, the Jewish people, the Yehudi people, I hate to say Jewish because I feel like that's a little bit of a racial slur. And the reason why is because Judaism, man, run me over. People ran over my cat the other day, you might as well run me over. Alright, so, yeah. I'm not good with loss. I don't really want to say this on this video, but look. You see this mask and you see this face. I'm in Syracuse, New York. You hit my fucking cat. I'm speaking to the person who drove down Westcott Street and couldn't swerve a foot. A foot. Couldn't swerve a foot. Not to hit Makita, my cat. But no, he kills my cat. So I hope the person who drove down Westcott Street and killed my fucking cat sees this, because I'll tell you what, I want you to come find me. I want you to come find me. If you wanna kill an innocent animal, why don't you come try and fucking kill something your own fucking size? You murdered my cat. You son of a bitch. Who is my daughter? You're lucky that we're in this country. If we were not in this country, if I was in a Muslim country, okay, I would have people go grab this guy and bring him to me. And for killing my daughter, because that's what that Kita was to me. It wasn't just a cat, okay? I'm tired of hearing it was just an animal. Animals, especially that one, are sinless. They're Muslims because they don't do sin. So you killed a Muslim. Whether it's a cat or not doesn't matter to me. But I wish I could do to you what they do to people when they kill Muslims in Muslim countries. Because I would cut you in 4 fucking pieces. I would fucking put your legs in one garbage can, your arms in another garbage can, and I'd mail your head to your mother. So find me. You want to go around and killing innocent fucking cats. You're a piece of shit. Find me. Find me. Because you might as well come and try something your own. Yeah, you have no idea. I'm saying this so that you come find me. And when you come find me, you better hope. You better just hope that the police get your ass first. Because the police, these pigs, don't do their fucking job. So you're lucky we're in this country. Because for killing someone like that, I would cut your arms off, your legs off, and your head off, and I'd mail it to your fucking mother. Find me, whoever killed my fucking cat. You son of a bitch. I want you to fucking find me.